Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. It keeps going down for some reason.
Slide it back a little bit. It'll be weighted a little better, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Bring the whole mic a little closer if we need to. Slide it back a little bit more. Get the weight right. It's okay?
We'll see. We welcome everyone here tonight for our annual Purnima festival. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared a little over 500 years ago in Nadia, Navadvip, Mayapur. And there are many, I don't know what to do here, figure it out. This is the only time I get nervous, when somebody's moving the microphone next to my teeth. Anyone here tonight for the first time, please raise your hand. You're here for the first time ever. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Anyone else here for the first time? Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. I've heard. Anyone else? Thank you very much for coming. Anyone else coming for the first time? For those who are coming for the very first time, this is a very special occasion for us here. This is the appearance day of Lord Krishna in the form of a devotee of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, who is our founder Acharya, sitting here on the Vyasasana, would many times say that Lord Krishna demanded Sarva Dharma Prityaktya Mam Ekam Saranam Braja. You surrender unto me. You give up all varieties of religious activities and you just surrender to me without compromise. So it's stated that Lord Chaitanya, or Krishna himself, was thinking to himself that it's been a long time since I've appeared to encourage the devotees, to show myself in the form of a devotee, to teach transcendental devotional service to Sri Krishna. So as thinking in this way, also the time for his, what would you call it, scheduled appearance day. I guess we can call it schedule. Ultimately, God has no schedule. He just follows what he wants to do. But in order to eradicate or to help us understand that who the Supreme Lord is, he follows the schedule so that nobody else can trick people to think that they're God. This is a challenge. This is really a challenge for people in this world. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's described that he appeared on the horizon and came to distribute prema bhakti, pure devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. I was reading a little bit today, going through parts of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the most wonderful book. How many of you have copies of the Chaitanya Charitamrita in your house? They're on sale today for $99. Vaisheshika Prabhu gave a class. They're distributing them for $99 for a whole set. That's wholesale price. How many of here want to understand who Krishna really is? Okay, we're getting a few more now. Because Maharaj, Vaisheshika Maharaj was explaining, and as I was reading also, in order to fully understand Krishna, we have to understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. This is necessary. They open up the mellows of devotional service. There are different mellows or rasas, they're called. The rasas are there, a devotional service. And one time in Vrindavan, back in 71, 72, when Srila Prabhupada was staying in his apartment in Vrindavan at the Radha temple, he was explaining, he was giving discourses on several books, Nectar Devotion, Bhagavatam, and he was explaining to the devotees that in order to get into the pastimes of Krishna on an intimate level, that one has to get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just like if you want to get into the president's office here, you have to know the code. Where is he? There's a code. You have to have a system to get in. And so the system is given to us by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none different than Krishna. This book, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, begins with the basic understanding that we all need. And that need is how to understand Krishna, how to get to the point of pure devotional service, and how to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the first practically 100 pages are dedicated to understanding who is Guru. Everyone in this room has a Guru. Everyone. When you were little, you had a Guru who taught you how to brush your teeth. That was your mother or maybe your father. Guru means teacher. Each and every one of us have had different gurus. But to understand, thank you. So in order to understand, we need teacher. Tatvedi paripasena paripasena sevaya. It's described in the Bhagavad Gita that one should approach a bona fide spiritual master and inquire from them submissively and render service. Because that service is what we're searching for. That is our nature. Our particular, our personal nature as individual living souls is that we are servants. That is our nature. So we can either serve the Lord or we can serve the material energy. But in either case, we're going to serve something. I remember in the late 60s, early 70s, we weren't going to serve anything. And then Shiva Ram Maharaj says, "You're such a fool." I don't know if anybody knows Shiva Ram Maharaj. He told me I was a fool. It was very good information. And he says, "You don't think you're serving something?" He says, "You're serving your body all day long. You're serving your mind constantly. We're always serving something. A serves B, B serves C, C serves D, and it just goes on. And even if we don't want to serve anyone, we still have to serve ourselves. When you get hungry, your belly tells, "Fill me, serve me." It says, "Serve me," and we must do that. So Maimangso Jivaloka, we're all eternal parts and parcels of Krishna, and we're meant to serve that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in order to get understanding of that, we get the opportunity to serve Guru. And through serving Guru, we learn how to serve Krishna. Krishna says, "You surrender unto me, and I'll protect you from all sinful reactions." And to teach us how to do that, he tells us, "Tadvidi panipasena panipanaseva," that we must approach a spiritual master and submissively inquire and render service. And by doing this, we can get to that point of surrendering to Krishna, because it gives us the ABCs that way. So this Chaitanya Charitamrita next describes how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. I think some people are trying to get into the room, so if everybody can squish a little bit more forward or a little bit more some direction, so we can give everybody just a little more space. I know it's not easy. We got our what do we call it? Member of the board, Mathuranath, giving us directions on how to do things. We have our illustrious temple president keeping us in line here. Thank you all for moving closer. I hope everyone is comfortable. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita in chapter 2 explains definitively that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna. It gives a lengthy description of the whole process, or the whole understanding of the personality of Godhead, how Krishna appears. And one who knows the appearance of Krishna, Jamakarma Chime Divyam Evam Yo Veta Tattvataha, that one who knows the appearance of the Supreme Lord and his activities doesn't have to take birth in this material world ever, ever, ever again. That's taken away. He doesn't have to do. And in the same way, we understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came in just like Krishna when he was present on this planet, as we say, present on the planet. He displayed so many different activities, giving his mother so much affection. Mother was giving the boys so much affection. His friends, the cowherd boys, the cowherd girls, all the residents of Vrindavan were being immersed. Let these childhood pastimes be always in the forefront of my heart and mind. And in the same way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, performed his pastimes as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, teaching us how to associate with devotees and how to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, especially in the age of Kali Yuga. Anyone here not know what Anyone here know what the word Kali Yuga means? Do you know? Okay, I'll tell you what Kali Yuga is. I could have just brought the 12th canto and gave you all the symptoms. You can see all those symptoms manifesting non-stop. There are 4 yugas. Satya Yuga is goodness. People live for 100,000 years. They simply practice silent meditation. The atmosphere is pristine. Then Treta Yuga, a little bit down a little bit. And in that age, they practice huge sacrifices. You'll read this in all kinds of ancient histories where the residents of different places of the world were performing huge sacrifices. And then the next year, next section, the next season, a little bit further down, Dwapara Yuga. And then, what would you say, opulent worship of the temple was there. And in Kali Yuga is described as a place that is full of faults. There are 4 pillars of religious life, and the last one is truthfulness. The last one is truthfulness. And that leg is being chopped in the age of Kali until the whole system collapses. But Lord Chaitanya, it's described in the Srimad Bhagavatam that even though this is known, the first age is golden, the second age is silver, the third age is copper, and this one is iron, the Iron Age. It gets rusty, right? It gets rusty. And so, even though this age is such a, what would you say, complicated place to find spiritual life, to find solace within the heart, which we're always hankering for, that there's one redeeming factor. There's one redeeming factor in this age. And that factor is that simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one achieves all the benefit that one would have achieved in the Satya Yuga, the Golden Age, the Treta Yuga, the Silver Age, the Dwapara Yuga, the Copper Age. We'll get all that benefit simply by Nam Sankirtan. We get all that through the holy name of the Lord. So going back, this idea of Krishna, of Lord Chaitanya's understanding of being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Vedic literatures has so much information, And I was just listening to a lecture where His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, was explaining people want to love God, but they don't know who God is. If you think that God is just some part of our imagination, or that it's just some big, what would you say, I don't know, something to worship that your mind needs or something like that. I often give the example, any parents here with teenage boys or girls? Well, it's a very unpopulated part. So just imagine you have a young boy or young girl. Say they're not young, say they're old enough to get married. And they come to you and say, Mom and Dad, I'm in love. That's like a dart in the parent's heart. Because they want to know what you're in love with. Not only what you're in love with, who you're in love with, and why you're in love with, and how you're in love with. We're going through all the H's and W's here. And so we say it's a boy or a girl. It's talking to the parents. Take a vote. Girl. Okay, thank you. Unanimous. So the young lady goes to her mother and says, Mom, I'm in love. What's his name? I'm not sure. Where does he live? He hasn't told me yet. What does he look like? Never really seen him in person. What does he do for a living? They've never told us. So, raise your hand if you're a parent with a teenage daughter, not teenage, young lady, and if you'll allow them to continue with this process of a loving relationship with something she doesn't know who it is, where it's from, what it does, and especially in this community, does he have a degree? Does he have a master's or a PhD? Is he an engineer or a doctor? It goes down, doesn't it? It goes down. So in order to love God, we have to know, we have this Vedic literature, especially if we're talking Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, it gives us such a depth of understanding who that personality is, so much so that once we find out, it's impossible not to fall in love with that personality. It's a natural response when we see something wonderful. We experience something wonderful. We can have that. It's very, 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 very easy to, what would you say, fall in love with that. So we understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be none other than Sri Krishna. But the mood that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in is a little different than that of Krishna. The mood that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in is imbued with the heart of Srimati Radharani. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Srimati Radharani, who is the most compassionate, most loving, most generous. It's described if we can get the mercy of Sri Radha, Radharani can put in a good word with us for Krishna, and then we're in. We're in. So this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood. He's coming in the mood of Radharani, full of compassion. So much compassion for the souls of this world that he understands that as I was saying, he's contemplating coming, how we can protect all the people in this age. How can we do that? And so he starts this Sankirtan movement, the process of chanting the holy name of the Lord. And this process of chanting the holy name of the Lord is a very, very interesting, what would you say? It's interesting to me. And Narottam Das Thakur, if I do remember right, describes Golokera Premadan Harinam Sankirtan. That Golokera Premadan, that place where that is completely, what would you say, encaptured with the loving relationships with Krishna, Goloka, that place which is Krishna's abode. And Krishna's abode is described Golokera Premadan Harinam Sankirtan, that through the chanting of the holy name, that Dham that Krishna lives in, which is full of prema or pure love for God, descends into this world in the form of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's one way to get everybody to breathe. Have to breathe. And so this process was given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the third chapter will describe this. The third chapter of this Chaitanya Charitamrita, it comes in 3 sections: Adi Leela, beginning, Madhya, middle, and Antya, end. And so these first 6 chapters are from the Adi Leela. And, whoops, there's more than that. Anyway, they describe the reason for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's descent into the material world. We have to, God has a reason why. Has a reason why he does something. A lot of times, anybody here ever have no reason for what they're doing? Yeah, a little bit, huh? Well, no, I'll maybe reframe that. No good reason for what you're doing. Okay, now we got more participants. Thank you, Rajeshwari, for being so honest. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he comes with a desire to liberate all the conditioned souls of Kali Yuga. In fact, there was one devotee who was willing to take all the sins of every living entity in the universe and have Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu let them all go back to Godhead. I'll take all their sins on my heart so they can all go back. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says there'll be more coming, don't worry. We're always coming and going, isn't it? We're always coming and going. Well, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advanced himself in this world to start this Sankirtan movement, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. And I was also reading recently that this chanting of the holy names of the Lord is practically in every authorized scripture of the world. I know I've explained this before, that I grew up in a Christian, Jewish Christian atmosphere in America. And they have a prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be the name. So the name, God resides in Goloka, in heaven, and the name is holy. So what happens if we take advantage of that holy name, even according to the Judeo-Christian tradition? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom comes. In other words, Golokera Prema Dana Hare Nam Sankirtan. That the holy name, that prema that's in the spiritual world descends into this world in the form of chanting the holy name. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Your will be done. How? On earth as it is in Goloka. It's practically the same teachings. In fact, I would go as far to say it is the same teachings. But we have this opportunity. This is a really, really, really golden opportunity that we have, especially because Lord Chaitanya is known as the golden avatar. He's known because he doesn't come in the color of Krishna. Krishna comes in a very dark monsoon cloud, Kalachanji, dark moon-like features. Very, very beautiful. But Krishna, because he's so much touched by Radharani, he's coming in a golden form this time. Very, very golden and beautiful. Has anybody ever seen pure gold? Chunks of pure gold, yeah. Very attractive, isn't it? Yeah. What does the Bhagavatam compare it to? Oh, that's too heavy. Does anybody know what the Bhagavatam compares it to? Yeah, yellow doo-doo. Yeah, we're so attracted to it, but what is it? It's just a material element. And if we allow our senses to participate in the objects of the senses, we become trapped. But if we utilize everything in the service of Krishna, we give everything to Krishna, then it always turns out right. There's also confidential reasons. Let's go back to this external reasons, the causes for his descent. Lord Chaitanya, he left us with 8 verses. 8 verses which are known as the Shikshashtaka. And they go Chaita Darpanam Marjanam Bhava Mahagni Nirvarpanam. He's giving us this opportunity to cleanse the heart. Before we get into the other confidential reasons, the heart has to be cleansed to understand this. We can't enter into these types of relationships or these types of pastimes with a heart that's full of anarthas or unwanted things. Srila Prabhupada was one time asked by one, I just heard it on a lecture several months ago, the relationships with Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, he said, first understand you're not this body 100%. Then we can talk about Radha and Krishna. Anybody here understand 100% you're not this material body? Anyone here have mental disturbances, physical disturbances, and pays attention to them, isn't it? Just to say I'm not this body is very, very good, but we have to really know it. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us this Chaita Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahagni Nivarpanam, that simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, the heart becomes cleansed. The heart becomes cleansed of all unwanted things. Anybody here ever experienced an unwanted thing in their heart that they want to remove? We got some very advanced people here. Just say, for example, you had something in your heart you wanted to remove, and someone says, I have a process. I have a, what would you say? I don't want to say magic. What do they call it? Wand. I don't have nothing like that. But a process for cleansing the heart. And this is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. He brought the medicine, Aushadhiya Maya. Because we have to wake up to the fact that we're not this material body, that we're this soul inside, and this soul has an eternal relationship with Krishna. And so Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Jiv Jai Go, Jiv Jai Go, Gaura Chandra Bole, Kota Nija. How long will you wake up, sleeping souls? Wake up. I wish I had the songbook. Is there a songbook down there? Like the Vaishnava songbook down there? Oh. Because there's two songs. We usually sing these songs in the morning, but these are quite good. What's the one before number one? The first section. There's two parts. Yeah, that I know, but I'm just trying to find all the translations and stuff. Okay, we'll just do the second half. The second half's good. So, Bhaktivinoda, on the behalf of Lord Chaitanya, is singing Jiv Jai Go, Gaura Chandra Bole, Kota Nija Jayo Maya Pischa Chira Kole. And the translation is, Lord Gauranga is calling, wake up, sleeping souls. Anybody here asleep? Raise your hand. Okay, some people know what it means to be asleep, but not be asleep. Sometimes devotees will come to me and, Maharaj, I had a dream. What do you think it means? I said, don't worry about the night dreams, worry about the daydream you're in. You're walking around like a madman thinking I'm an architect, I'm a principal of a school, I'm a student. We're walking around in a complete bubble of illusion, and we need to wake up. So he's crying, wake up, sleeping souls, wake up, sleeping souls. How long will you sleep in the witch called Maya? Anybody want to associate with a witch? No way. No. Nobody raised their hand. That's good. Why do we say the witch of Maya? Because the next verse is, you have forgotten the way of devotional service and are lost in the world of birth and death. I was just thinking the other day, everywhere around us, birth and death are taking place, and we're numb. We're just numb to it. I mean, if someone close to us has that, or someone, we see some horrible thing on the news, which is not nice, but it's completely surrounding us like anything. I went to sweep my room. So many bugs died overnight. They had a family too. May have had friends. I don't know how bugs. I mean, any entomologists in the room? We don't know, bugs do what bugs do. But I was sweeping and I was just thinking, everything is coming to this end. What's the difference between them and me? They may have lived one night. I may have lived 100 years. I want to live 100 years, and you get your name in the paper. I can say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Somebody gets 100 years old. It's a spiritual purpose. It's a spiritual reason to live for 100 years. Bhaji Boa Boli, Esha Samsara Bhatari, Bulia Rolia Tumi Avidya Dhara Bodhi. That we have forgotten the way of devotional service. It's way past us. And Krishna, in the form of Lord Chaitanya, describes that he has descended to save us. And other than myself, we have no friend in this world. Anybody here have friends in this world? Yeah, I know. Thank you, Raseshwari. Yeah, you're really going for it here. But I have a sneaking suspicion most of your friends are Krishna's servants, right? Yeah, those are the real friends that are Krishna's servants. But we make so many things, family, friendship, and love. But how long does it last? It's just, that's the thing, I don't want it to become like a depressing, topic, but to face the music that everything comes to an end. Nasato vijite bhavo, na bhavo vijite sataha. That which is material is temporary. This body is material, it's temporary. That which is spiritual is eternal. This soul is eternal. And we have a simple process. So Lord Chaitanya says, Aushadhiya Maya. Where is that? Enechi Aushadhi Maya Nasti Baro Lage. Harinam Mahamantra Loy Tume Mage. He said, I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion for which you are suffering. Take this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's always fun to do that, isn't it? Just get everybody to chant Hare Krishna. And that medicine is the chanting of the holy name. If we can just simply chant the holy name of the Lord. It's described knowingly or unknowingly. It will have an effect. The example given in the scripture is that if someone is sick and you give them medicine unknowingly, the medicine still takes effect. So this medicine of chanting the holy name, even if we knowingly take it or we unknowingly take it, we get the medicine and it cleanses the heart. But there's a what would you say? I lose words sometimes. I don't want to say process, but there's a stipulation that Lord Chaitanya gives. Just like the next verse, Nam Namakari Bahuja Nija Sarva Shakti Shatarpita Niyamita Smarane Nakalaha. And in this age of Kali, there are no hard and fast rules for chanting the holy names of the Lord. And Nam Namakari Bahuja Nija Sarva Shakti. There are hundreds and millions of names of God. Hundreds and millions of names of God. And what is the nature of that holy name? Sarva Shakti. It has all the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead contained within that vibration. Just imagine if I told you, I can give you the Supreme Personality of Godhead right here, right now. Please take it. Who will take it? Raise your hand. Okay, for those who raised your hand, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And those who didn't raise their hand, they got it anyway, because knowingly or unknowingly, the holy name works. So the author of this song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, says, I fall at the Lord's feet, the Supreme Personality of Godhead's feet, having taken this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very nice. Can you find me the first verse, the first one? Aruna. Yeah. So what do you think? Is it a good deal? Huh? What do you think? Good deal? Anyone here not want a good deal? Okay, that's good. That's good. Everybody here is on board. Everybody's here on board. The first part of this song, it's nice because it describes Lord Chaitanya's appearance and how he appeared in Bengal. And he's known as the twice born Lord Gaurachandra. And what are his activities? When he awakens in the morning, he gathers all the devotees, and he went all over the countryside, the towns and villages. And what did he do? He chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All the devotees chanted the names of Krishna, Mukunda, Madhava, Yadava, Hare. And they would announce to the still sleeping people, you waste your nights uselessly sleeping and your days decorating your bodies. What are some of the decorations? Makeup. I just found some kind of fruit. Makeup, he says, decorating our body with makeup. Anybody go there? Yes, please? Identification with your occupation. Yes? Jewelry. Oh, jewelry, very good. Identifying ourselves to be something that we're not. Prabhupada said if you go, in Ishupana said, you go down out in the street, you ask somebody, who are you? I'm Mr. John. I'm an architect. I'm married to such and such. I have 2.3 children or whatever the average is. And Prabhupada would say nothing about who you really are. Only those things which we are decorating our bodies with. We pass, what is it? Oh yeah, where did I start? Well, you achieved the human body. Okay. Where is it decorating your body? Anyway. We have achieved this rare human body, but we don't care for this gift. Has anybody ever given a gift to somebody that they didn't really want? And they just said, even if, not that way, that you didn't really want, and you just said, oh, I don't want this gift. You wouldn't tell them that. Okay, sorry. I'm not better than that. So we remain idle and not serving the Lord of the heart. Spend our nights uselessly sleeping. The last verse we sang was Jiv Jaigo, Jiv Jaigo. Wake up. We want to wake up to the reality of our situation and be aware. You can't buy back 1 minute. 1 minute cannot be purchased. You have so many minutes in front of you, and you have very, very good wealth, and if you use them as your wealth is meant to be used, then what will happen? You'll end up with a good retirement package. Good retirement. This is something called 108K. Took a while for that one to slip in. Instead of a 401K, a 108K. Sometimes I'm sleepy and sometimes I'm awake when I'm sleepy, so that was pretty good. To penetrate the darkness of ignorance and bless everyone's heart, this holy name has arisen just like the shining sun. Anybody fearful in the dark a little bit sometimes? Yeah. Yeah. Anybody experience total darkness, like inside a cave? Yes. Wow. Huh? You were in I took a group of boys inside a cave one time, and I used to travel with like 25 boys, and they would do all the things that these boys are doing right now. It's just not different. They were 12 and 13, and now they're 25 and 35, so it doesn't make a difference. Boys will be boys. We went down into the cave, and they had these little lights along the wall, and the person in charge, the guide, said, okay, now we're going to turn them off, and it's going to be completely dark. And if you get nervous, just say, lights. And it didn't take very long for someone to, like about 30 seconds, maybe less than a minute. And what could you see in total darkness? I went like this, and I couldn't see it. Darkness. So to penetrate the darkness of ignorance, Om, chant it with me, Om Agyana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chaksho Manitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. We offer our respectful obeisances under the spiritual master who, with the torchlight of knowledge, has what do you call it? Illuminated this world. A torchlight of knowledge. Knowledge gives us vision. Without knowledge, you can't, it's not, what am I trying to say? We're lost. We're lost without knowledge. So having knowledge of ourselves and the eternal part and parcel of Krishna, with an eternal relationship with Krishna, will remove that darkness so we don't go in the wrong direction. If we don't know who we are and we don't know what we're meant for, then what are the chances of us going and finding the right thing? Very, very, very little. Again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells us, drink the pure nectar of the holy name. There is nothing but the name to be had in the 14 worlds. Anybody here in the room want something more than the holy name in the 14 worlds? Honest people? Come on. Let's go. Everybody. We're getting the young people to get... Okay, I can't force. Somebody raised their hand just waving back there, and so that we're... Nothing to be had but the 14, nothing but the holy name to be had in the 14 worlds. It has filled the soul of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Anybody here have a heart without desire? Anybody here have a heart that has some desire in the material world? Very few. We're an elevated association here. Either that or a very shy association. Shy.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for you to say love. You said few desires.
Huh? Does anybody here have a lot of material desires? Unlimited. That is actually true. It is unlimited. If you take everybody together, somebody wants this kind of glass, somebody wants this kind of house, somebody wants this kind of car, somebody wants this. I said this many, many, many years ago, and it's an old song from the 60s. And it's really, the whole song is just one sentence. Give me that thing, give me that, give me that, give me that thing, give me that, give me that, give me that thing, give me that, give me that, give me that thing, give me that, give me. Anybody here old enough to remember that song? That's the kind of songs they play in North Dakota. So and that, it was so philosophical. Everybody would laugh when it came on, but when you take a look at it, everybody is doing that. Give me that thing. Oh, give me that thing. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that thing. Give me that. Everybody's doing it. And the heart is not becoming pacified, and our soul is not becoming filled. Our soul can't be filled by these material these material objects. It doesn't work. Only the holy name, which has been brought to us by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose appearance day is today, and we're celebrating it here, is Sri Kalachandjidam. And we thank you all for being part of our program. Any questions? Yes. Manjai, I know something's coming.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Rtadhvaja Maharaj, for such a joyful, wonderful class. My question is, so this morning before class, Narasimha Rupaprabhu, he shared a verse from, I believe it was the Adi Leela, where it stated that Lord Chaitanya, he distributed the holy name without discrimination as to who was qualified and who was unqualified to receive it. And I hope you don't mind this parallel. I was thinking you're giving class today and you were a top book distributor of your time. And I was wondering if you could share maybe some realizations that you have of giving Krishna consciousness to others.
Oh. I have a lot of funny stories. Maybe that's my nature. That one's kind of little, no. Actually, I was distributing books at what's known as a welcome center, Florida Welcome Center, where everybody comes down to distribute books in a welcome center. I mean, to get brochures and stuff. And the people that worked there didn't like us. They gave out a little cup this big of orange juice or grapefruit juice. You had to choose between one of them. You only got one, either orange juice or grapefruit juice. And it was like a thimble. I mean, it's like 2 tablespoons, maybe maybe not a quarter of a cup. So me and my partner, Vaninath Vasu, 6'10", slender African-American man that's just wonderful, wonderful devotee. We would go in there and we would each get one. And as we walked in the place, this one lady would go, "Robert, you got to get yourself out of that Hare Krishna mess and get you back to Jesus." Although they're not allowed to preach in government facilities, "Robert, you got to get yourself out of that Hare Krishna mess and get you all back to Jesus." Now, this is the Florida and Georgia border, so that's why I'm speaking in that language. And every time we would sell a book, you could see them through the windows. They were, oh man, they sold another book. They sold another book. And so one time, it was a real slow day. It was raining, very few cars in the road. And I approached Tripurari Swami and Suradas, the late Suradas, came to Gainesville, and they gave us these order forms that you could order a full set of books for $250. So I thought, we'll just take them out to the welcome station. There's only probably 3 or 4 cars in the parking lot. And I approached this car, and it was like, they had some neck beads or something on the, said, Hare Krishna, oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And I said, yeah, we're selling sets of books here, you want to get a home? And so the guy got out of the car, and in front of all the workers, counted out $10 and $20 bills to $250. One set of books in a parking lot in the Welcome Center. And I gave him the form, and I sent the form in, and he receives the books in the mail. And that was the week that we got the, what do you call it, order forms. We got the order forms. It's always a pleasure to see someone take a transcendental literature. Knowingly, I mean, I don't know what's his name, Kashiram. He was a Radha Damodar. Kashiram Prabhu was a Radha Damodar Sankirtan devotee. And we went, one of the ladies' team wasn't doing so well in the airport, so they sent them to different places like the mall, and the men went to the airport. I worked 13 hours the first day. I didn't sell one book, but I didn't stop trying. Never stop trying. Never, ever, ever stop trying. The next day I did a few. But Chaitanya Charitamrita had just come out, and whenever we would get new books, we would get, you could only order like a certain percentage of Bhagavad Gita's. Bhagavad Gita is like the common book. Srimad Bhagavatam, so you say you can get 60% Bhagavad Gita's, 20% Srimad Bhagavatams, and 10% Chaitanya Church, so that they all get sold and out of the warehouse. We were passing out Anshya Leela in the Orlando airport and telling people these are books on the highest meditation you could ever find. Has anybody read the Anshya Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita? Please do. It'll really, really give you a wonderful experience. We got beat up by some Canadian hockey players one time. Is that okay? Enjoy. Can I say, well, if this is inappropriate, well, maybe, okay. We were distributing books at the Welcome Center, and this couple, in the mid-50s, came up, and they, welcome to Florida, welcome to the Sunshine State, big smile on my face, handing a book, and he goes, what's that? And I said, book on transcendental literature, spiritual literature, whatever we used to say. And his wife says, I have to get to the bathroom, I gotta go. So then we were talking, ask him what he does, and he opens the book, and it said that the book said stool-eating hogs. That's the first thing you read, stool-eating hogs. And he looks at me, and he says, that must have been a very hungry beep, beep, beep. Sorry. And his wife now comes back, and she goes, honey, what is it? He said, oh, nothing. He gives me a $5 or $10 bill and walks away. He wanted to know about that hog, stool-eating hog. So whatever way we're attracted to the material energy or to whatever we're into, there's a phrase for us in every one of these books for every single person in the world. He wanted to know about that hog, because in America we don't see it. In India, it's on the street. Okay, so thank you very much. I'm going to let Nishingarupa give the announcements, because I'm sure
His Holiness Rtadhvaja Maharaj ki jai. Let's give Maharaj a big Haribol. Haribol! Shri Shri Radha Kalachandji ki jai.